Okay. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. All right. All right. Very good. So, hello. My name is Dr. McCarthy. I am I'm a lot of things, but mainly I am the Experiential Learning Coordinator for the Department of Political Science. I do some of these things that are outlined. No, I do all the things that are outlined on this slide here. Some I do more than others. One of the things that I do in entirety is this Junior Fellows program. So you may have heard of Junior Fellows through the Political Science Department. It used to be just a Research Fellows program. And recently we have changed, recently as in this semester, we've changed this to include a research fellowship and a teaching fellowship. And the research fellowship is what I will be talking about today. I'm also in charge of the senior thesis and senior thesis registration. So I'm assuming we're all political science majors here, or at least thinking about it. So if you're thinking about writing a senior thesis, I'm that point of contact. I also do certificate stuff, especially political campaigning. That may expand in the coming years or semesters, but right now it's political campaigning. I'm also the Beyond 120 coordinator and the 2021 Civic Scholars faculty advisor. I do also some undergraduate advising. It's in brackets here because this is what I do some of. I do some undergraduate advising. Dr. Richard Nolan is still your main point of contact, but I help occasionally. And I'm also a lecturer in the political science department. And like Gus said, I teach religion and politics, public opinion, ethics, and leadership. And in the fall of 2021, I'm teaching a research methods class. Okay. So that's just a little bit about who I am, just so you know who's talking to you here. And let's get into what this program research fellowship is. So there's a lot that goes on with research fellows, and we'll talk about this throughout this presentation that I have for you, but it's designed to be individualistic or geared toward the individual, you, the research fellow. All research fellows have some major requirements both to get into the program as well as requirements of the program. And so I'll walk you through that today and give you some tips and tricks and insider information, if you will, on how to have a successful or a complete application. Okay, so to be a strong candidate for the program, I have these requirements here. You must be a political science major, a junior or senior, and have a 3.5 GPA. These are the basic requirements for submitting an application and being competitive. We'll talk in a second about how maybe junior, senior standing can be waived in certain circumstances. Hang on, we'll talk about it. But these are the basic requirements. So you must be a political science major, junior, senior standing. You have some wiggle room here, a 3.5 GPA. Some recommendations, but not requirements. So if you're thinking about submitting an application, a way that you can be competitive is to have taken a research methods class or a statistics class or some combination of those. So both or one or the other. Research methods will give you a foundation for being a junior fellow or a research fellow, but at the same time, you are learning research methods in many ways through the fellowship. So it's recommended here, but at this point, it's not a requirement of the program. Some benefits of the Research Fellows program is that it gives you unique research experience, and unique in that you have faculty advisors, which we'll get to in a second, but you'll have a faculty advisor who will cater your research experience based on what you're interested in, your needs or your research interest, as well as their project and what they have going on in their research agenda. So it's a unique research experience in that faculty in the political science department are all working on their own project. They're all doing their own thing. So their unique research is unique, as well as the experience that you will receive in the program. So your workload or what you're responsible for over the course of the semester varies from advisor to advisor and research fellow to research fellow. And we'll get into that a little bit more in a second. But the program provides this unique research experience and also some insight into what do political scientists do. What is the purpose of getting a graduate degree, a master's degree or a PhD in political science, if that's something that you're interested in? What do we do? What does research in the political science world look like, and how to conduct good research? Okay. And another thing is that and I've heard students talk about how one of the best things about the program is the ability to work with a faculty member, to have a one-on-one relationship, professional relationship with a faculty member, to learn the ins and outs of the profession and research. And these connections that you make with faculty members are connections that can last a lifetime. Okay, I did a program similar to this in my undergraduate career 500 years ago. Not that long, but a while ago. I did a program similar to this, and I still have contact with my faculty advisor. So it is an ongoing relationship, or it can be an ongoing relationship. It prepares you, so research fellows will prepare you for senior thesis work. So if you're interested in writing a senior thesis, you should consider taking or applying for this research fellowship program, because it's a good segue into senior thesis work. So research fellows work on a unique project that a faculty member is working on. So you help or assist a faculty member with their research, whereas senior thesis, you're conducting your own research. So research fellows is a really good way to dip your toes into what research is about in the political science world or realm. And then after the semester is over, you'll have some insight into how the research process works. And so you can be better equipped, or you are better equipped to do things like write a senior thesis. It also prepares you for other research opportunities. So you may not be writing a senior thesis, but you may be interested in applying for civic scholars, for example, or I have advanced degrees here. So perhaps you're thinking about going to law school or graduate school. This program is really catered and designed to help you reach those research objectives that you have, whether that's another research avenue on campus like university scholars or class scholars, or things like advanced degrees, so graduate school or law school. So what are the requirements of the program? So we're going to fast forward here first, and then we'll back up again. What are the requirements if you are accepted into this research fellows program? You have three basic requirements. Research here is a large portion, or the largest portion of your grade, so at 50%. You also have to attend research presentations, and then there's a participation component, and we'll talk about each one of these things. Okay, so that first bucket, your research, this is really the main thing that you're doing over the course of the semester. This is your primary responsibility. Your primary responsibilities is the relationship and the work that you are doing with your faculty advisor. Okay, this can look like some of the things that I have on this slide. It's not exclusive to this, but generally this is what happens. You have weekly meetings. Sometimes the meetings are every other week. It really, again, unique experience. So it depends on who your advisor is and what your schedule looks like and what their schedule looks like. But generally, it's a weekly meeting for 45 minutes, an hour, something like that, where you discuss research objectives. You'll be assigned tasks for the next week. It's a check-in to make sure you're maintaining progress on your research. a general rule of thumb that I have here is if you're taking this class for 3 credit hours, which we'll get to the credit hour delineation in a second here, but if you're taking it for 3 credit hours, you should assume that you're doing 9 hours of work per week. Now, again, I said probably 10 times already that this is a unique experience. Some fellows work a little bit less than 9 hours per week. You shouldn't really be working more because per university regulations, 3 credit hours equals 9 hours of work per week. But generally you should expect around 9 hours. And again, because this is an individual experience that you have, some weeks you may be working 9 hours, other weeks you may be working significantly less, and then the next week you may be working a little bit more. Okay, so generally 9 hours per week, and these are not 9 hours where you're on campus in a room working. This is 9 hours of research at home or independent research, or if you are attending a research presentation, that goes into this 9 hours worth of work. Okay. The second bucket or component of the requirements of the program is what we call critical reflections. You are attending 3 research presentations across campus. This can be at the Bob Graham Center or the Center for European Studies. We have in the political science department, we have research presentations. There are a ton of different places on campus, virtually or on campus, that you can attend research presentations. So you'll attend 3 of these, and then you'll write a 1-page reflection on the event. It's pretty simple. This component of the course is pretty simple, but it's a good way to get you thinking about research and what others are doing, what other people around campus, what other scholars are doing regarding research. And I really encourage research fellows to take these critical reflections and these research presentations, take it as doing something that you're interested in. So only attend those things that you find interesting to you. So I won't tell you which 3 presentations you need to attend. I'll just give you heads up when I know of a presentation. Okay, so you have pretty full range here to do and to attend the presentations that you'd like, things that you find to be most interesting to you. You also have a participation component. The participation is class meetings. So we have an intro meeting there. You'll see in the fall, we have some meetings that are scheduled throughout the semester. You also have small group discussions and then a final presentation. This semester, we started this small group discussion, and it seems to be working. I've heard great things about the small group discussions. We're doing it via Canvas this semester, obviously, but in the fall, when you all will be applying, or next spring, so in the coming semesters, small group discussion, hopefully, fingers crossed, will be in person, and you'll meet with 4 to 5 other research fellows who are doing similar projects that you're doing or similar field of study or research, and you'll just talk about your projects and you'll make connections with other research fellows. Okay, and the final presentation is something that's optional this semester because COVID and all of that, but it will not be optional in the fall. So you will have a final presentation that you'll just tell the group and all research fellows, and we'll invite faculty to this meeting. You'll talk to them about what you've been doing all semester and what part of the research process you've been working on and your experience as a fellow. So some of the things I've mentioned, some of the differences between this semester and fall 2021, and I'm bringing this up because the website is geared to this semester and not what's to come. So it hasn't been updated for fall 2021, and perhaps you have friends who are a research fellow. There are some differences in this semester and what you should expect for next semester. So next semester, we are also having faculty presentations. We'll have one probably two, but don't hold me to two, definitely one faculty presentation where a faculty member in the political science department will come and talk with the group about their research, the methods that they're employing, and some professional experience. It's another way that you can engage with faculty in the political science department. We'll also have a two-part research methods workshop where it's just an intro to research methods. So we'll discuss in the first part qualitative research methods, and then the second part quantitative research methods. And this is just to give you an overview of some of the different types of projects we're working on in the political science department. Some of you will be working on qualitative projects and some of you will be working on quantitative projects. So it's important that we incorporate or have an intro to both of these methods. Okay, so that's what's coming for the next semester. So what then is the application process, and how are you most successful in turning in your application? My advice to you is first to go to the political science department website. There's a tab that says undergraduate, and then in that undergraduate tab, there's a junior research fellows tab that you can select. And look for the ongoing faculty research section on that tab. What you'll see there is a list of faculty in the political science department who are working on certain projects, and then you have a little blurb about their current research project. That's your first step, is to go to the website, and I know it sounds really simple, but go to the website, look at ongoing faculty research. One small thing to note here is that this website was updated for last semester. So if you're thinking, I have this great faculty member, I would love to work with this faculty member, but they're not on the website, what should I do? Don't worry. You should think, well, the website hasn't been updated in 6 months or so. So you do step number 2. And if you do find someone on the website that you would like to work with, you do step number 2. So in all cases, you're doing this faculty connection step. What this means is you need to reach out to that faculty member that you've identified that you like and are interested in the research that they're doing, and you'd like to see if they are accepting a junior fellow for fall 2021. So reach out, make an appointment, have a conversation with them, introduce yourself, be friendly, of course, introduce yourself, talk with them, see what's going on for the fall 2021 semester. We're all really friendly here. You'll have a positive experience. I'm sure of it. Don't hesitate to reach out. One of the things that you can fall back on here is if you've had a class with a faculty member, you should feel really comfortable, right? Reaching out to that faculty member, remind them that that you have taken a class with them and what class that is, and just remind them of the relationship, the professional relationship that you have, okay? Then the next step of the application process is after you've made this faculty connection is to complete your application and then submit the application to me. And so here's my email address there. I will go through now what a complete application includes. Okay, so first you need a CV or resume. A tip or trick here to make my life a lot easier is if you would put your GPA on your CV or resume, because remember, one of the main requirements here is that you have a 3.5 GPA. So include a GPA on your CV or resume, just so I can check that box off and move on to other things like reviewing your cover letter. Now, your cover letter is typically a 1-page document, short, sweet, to the point. Talk about things like, what research skills do you have? Are you fluent with Excel or Stata or R? Have you taken a research methods class? Have you taken statistics? Are you interested in qualitative or quantitative research? Those kinds of things, okay? Another thing to mention is, what field of study are you interested in? international relations, American politics, policy, comparative, etc. Your field of study, general interest. Also include, why do you want to be a research fellow? Why are you interested in this? And who are you interested in working with? I have specific names here on this slide because if you can provide, I'm interested in this field of study and I've taken a class with this professor and this is the professor's name and this is why I'm interested, it really helps me with the matching process, which I'll get to on the next in the next couple of slides. Okay, so 1 is a CV or resume, 2 is a cover letter, and 3 is the actual application PDF or document. And this is what it looks like. I know it's really small. This is also on the political science website. So if you click the link that that Gus put in the chat, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, there's a junior fellows, research fellows application form that you can fill out. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to go to the next slide because this is really hard for you all to read. This is just the bottom portion of that application. You fill in your name, your major. It should be political science. If it's something else, you need to write other, what the other is, and then we'll have a follow-up conversation here. Your current standing, 3LS and 4LS. This is, for your purposes, 3 is junior, 4 is senior. Okay, so generally that's what I'm looking for. Are you a junior or a senior? And if you are unable to check one of these boxes, then we'll have to also have that conversation. Okay, so the next thing is the credit hours available. You can choose and this largely depends on how much time and effort and energy and also how many hours your schedule allows for. But you can choose whether you're interested in registering for 2 or 3 credit hours of class. Okay, so it is a credit program, so it's not just S or U. You do receive a letter grade for this for the program. So just keep that in mind when you're filling out this credit hours or credit hours available component. And I'll answer any more questions or follow-up questions if you have any questions about the credit hours available, but I always fall back or advise students, what does your schedule allow, and try to be realistic with what your schedule allows. Okay, you're also going to fill out the field of study that you are interested in, so American, comparative, international relations, theory, or public policy and administration. And here is my tip and trick for all of you. Be very specific in the topic that you're interested in studying. What I do after I receive these applications is I look at all the faculty who have said, please, I would like a research fellow for the fall semester. I see which faculty members want a research fellow and what they're working on. And then I match them with you and the application that you've submitted. So the more you include in this, please indicate your fields and specific topics that interest you, the more you include here and the more specific you get here, the easier it is for me to find you a faculty match. Okay, so be as specific here as you possibly can be, but also if you are interested in more than one thing, it's okay to pick more than one field or to be broad in that you're selecting more than one field, because we only have so many faculty members and only so many of those are doing or are taking junior fellows or research fellows for next semester. So if you can really diversify yourself in the field here, but still staying true to what you're interested in, and then providing specific examples of that, that's really your best bet. Now, you don't want to just check off all of these boxes and say, I'm interested in everything, because then that makes me question what you're really interested in. So you want to be pragmatic about this and think about what are my top 2 interests here. So what are my top 2 fields that I'm interested in, and then give some specific examples or specific topics of that interest. Okay. This nominating faculty line, we do need to talk about for a second. Remember when I told you, go to the political science department website, see who's there, see who's doing what on the website, reach out to them, establish some connection. Faculty members can actually nominate you for the program. If they nominate you and you receive their signature, meaning they nominate you, you talk with them, they nominate you and say, I would love to work with this student next semester. I'm going to sign my name on this line. You're pretty much guaranteed in the program, or that a match has been made. And so it leaves me or my matching and that work out. So if you have a signature from a faculty member, it's safe to assume, unless something else doesn't check out right, which is things like your GPA or your standing. But again, your current standing, there's wiggle room here, because if a faculty member says that they want to work with you, I assume that they know if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, right? So you have wiggle room there, because if they are nominating you and they say, okay, I'm comfortable working with a second semester sophomore, then who am I to say, no, that's not allowed, right? So you have a little bit of wiggle room with this current standing. But anyway, so your nominating faculty signature is you making a connection with a faculty member and them signing off and saying, yes, I am agreeing to work with this student in the fall, okay? You do not need to have a faculty nomination. You don't have to. Many students actually don't have a nominating faculty member or their signature. If you do not, what happens is your application gets put in a pile or a file, if you will, a virtual file of all of the students who do not have faculty, nominating faculty members, okay? And at this point, things get really competitive. So this is when things like your current standing, your current standing, your GPA, your CV, your resume, your statement of interest or your cover letter, those things I really consider, and I select the best candidates that we have. Okay, so your nominating faculty member really seals the deal for you in terms of the process. If you don't be discouraged. Just make sure that your application is competitive and you're putting your best foot forward in your resume or your CV and your statement letter. Okay, so it's not required to have a nominating faculty member sign off. It's not required. It helps in many ways. But if you do not be discouraged. It's my job to match you up with an appropriate advisor. Okay, your applications are due April 15th. Okay, they're due April 15th. Just because they're due April 15th doesn't mean you need to wait. I'm accepting applications now. So if you would like to start contacting faculty members, and I encourage you to do so, to reach out to your political science professors now and establish some type of contact. Don't wait until April 15th to turn in your application, okay? But it's due on April 15th. So what happens after you submit the application to me on April 15th? I review the applications and I make matches. Please note this and repeat it to yourself over and over. The Department of Political Science will register you for the political science class of research fellows. And I forgot to mention, I'll get to it in a second. The political science department will register you for the course. So you are not able to register for the class on your own. We register for you. The timeline for you finding out whether you are a research fellow for next semester or not is late April, and I say I'm very cautious about late April. Realistically, early May. And when will you be registered? May. You'll be registered sometime in May. So research, I know you're thinking all about your courses or scheduling here. This isn't a scheduled course in that it doesn't have a specific course designation time. So we won't be meeting at 10 o'clock every Tuesday and Thursday, or period 4 every Tuesday and Thursday. All of our meetings, if we have them, your meeting with your advisor is based on your schedule, whatever that class schedule may be, and also your advisor's schedule. Anything that we do as a research method or a research fellows class is after 5 o'clock, so 5 p.m. in the afternoons, and I will update you on the day of the week as soon as possible. I'm thinking it's Thursdays. Typically, it's either Tuesday or Thursday. I'm thinking it's Thursdays for the fall, but I'm thinking Thursday, and that's all I can give you right. That's all I can give you right now. I can't give you any more direction on that. The thing that I forgot to mention before that I'm going to mention now is it has this, please note here. So you are going to tell me after you say yes, after you are matched, or yes, you are accepted into the research method. I keep saying research methods, research fellows program. You will tell me if you want to register for POS 4911, CPO 4911, INR 4911, or POT 4911. And this is really, again, up to what your schedule needs, but really, and also it's up to what field of research you are conducting research. So it depends on what your scheduling needs are to some extent, but really, what is your advisor doing? So I live in the American politics realm of things, so it would be inappropriate for one of my research fellows to say, I want the CPO or INR course designation. That would be inappropriate. So my research fellows have the POS 4911 course designation. Okay, so after you're matched with your advisor, which is why it's not available on this form for you to fill out before you're matched. But after you're matched with your advisor, I know what research they're conducting, and I can better guide you into, here are your options: POS, CPO, INR, POT. So I can tell you which ones would be appropriate for you to register for. Okay, and I think that's it. So I recognize that I have talked very quickly, and I said a lot. I said a lot in a little bit of time. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Feel free to raise your hand. All right, so David has a question. So David, go ahead.
Hi, Dr. McCarthy. I just had a quick question about what a junior designation is. So is it based off of the amount of years that you've been at UF, or the amount of credit hours that you have?
I knew I would get this question. This is why I say we have wiggle room here, because, and I'm not going to give you a definitive answer. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on if you have a faculty nomination. What we like to see is that you have taken at least 2 semesters worth of political science classes at the University of Florida. That's really what I'm looking for. And I know you all come in at like varying degrees of credit hours. And so you might be a senior, but really you've only been at UF for a year and all this crazy stuff. I recognize that. I understand that. So it really depends, which is why I said, we'll have to have a conversation about this. We'll have to have a follow-up. And if you have a nomination, as long as your advisor knows, it really doesn't matter. I'm not going to stop you there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sophia, you're next.
I actually had a similar question, so that kind of answered it.
Okay, very good.
Awesome. Grayson, I believe you're next.
Yeah, hi. So you mentioned something about the classes that you take, which can set you apart before you apply to the Junior Fellows Program. I was just wondering what classes exactly we should look into before.
Yeah. So I was really thinking about research methods. Taking a research methods class really sends me the signal that you understand the research process, and that you would be a very good candidate, and you are a very good and strong candidate for the program. Statistics is recommended, but really research methods. Who knows, in future years, it may be a requirement of the program that you have to have research methods before you apply. As of today and your application class, it's not a requirement, but we're working towards that. So classes, research methods, and upper level political science classes, any field that you're interested in, but upper level political science classes. If you've taken just the intro classes in political science, I encourage you to take upper level classes, Gordon Rule classes, or I think you call it the words classes. I really encourage the words classes, upper level words classes. There may be a writing requirement, depending on who your advisor is. So the research fellows that I have, they write a lot, or a significant amount. So upper level classes, research methods, not the intro classes, Gordon Rule or words classes are good. You should consider those. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And I just want to reiterate, research methods is a tough class, but it's what got me to the Junior Fellows program, but it's also an excellent class to set you for the foundation for a senior thesis. I mean, it's a requirement for the senior thesis, but I can't recommend that class enough in terms of what it teaches you for research, and it also challenges you as a student. That being said, if no one else has any questions, I'm going to put in the chat a feedback form. So if any of you guys have feedback for other kinds of workshops or anything, we'd love to hear it. But if there is not anything else, feel free to contact Dr. McCarthy. She'll answer all of your questions. There will also be a recording on the CURB's website. That way it's accessible to everyone. But that being said, this workshop is over. Thank you, everyone, for attending. And hopefully, Dr. McCarthy will look forward to your applications soon.